This locomotive hauling the train is a legendary one. It is the first of the RE44 series. You do not often see them, there are not many left, so I feel very lucky to see it. And I think Matthias will be able to explain in more detail what it is all about.
The RE44 locomotives are among the most iconic electric locomotives in the Swiss Federal Railways, because on their own they illustrate several decades of technological development. As usual, let us take time to break down the name RE44. R for a locomotive able to run at high speed through curves, and E for electric. The fraction 44 means that all 4 axles are powered. In international classification, this is known as a locomotive boo-boo, worth not forgetting. In other words, these RE44 are powerful machines designed to be versatile. There were 4 versions between the 1940s and the 1980s. But why so many in such a short time? Because needs evolved. More speed, more power, more lines, and advancing technologies. Each generation responds to a specific context. The first generation appeared at the end of the Second World War. These were relatively light locomotives, only 57 tons, ideal for winding lines and regional trains. This is the model that accompanies us today on the Pacific 01202 Associations train. Then came the second versions in the 1960s. Here everything moved up a gear. They were more powerful, able to haul both passenger trains and freight trains. And just imagine, 80 tons for a top speed of 140 kilometers an hour. And above all, 6,320 horsepower available. This is the most widespread series and probably the best known, also called the RE420. If we have to mention iconic locomotives, there's the Swiss Express with its orange and cream livery. Recognizable from far away, these locomotives can still be seen hauling freight trains today, but they are sadly nearing the end of their service life and will stop being used in a few years. See that? Did you notice? Oh yes, of course, it jumps out. See? The Roman numerals. But why did they use these? Because they do not just number things, they really distinguish them. It can be for a new generation, because of a different design, or for other technical features compared with earlier versions. Back to our locomotives. The RE443 are a small specific series. They were designed in the early 1970s for more demanding lines with steep gradients, so more power was needed. One of the country's most iconic steep routes is the Gotthard line, where these locomotives were regularly used in double traction. And finally, the fourth version. These introduced more modern technologies, particularly in control electronics, and paved the way for contemporary locomotives. To sum up, the RE44s are not just a locomotive series. Across the 4 generations presented in this feature, they illustrate 4 decades of Swiss railway development between operating needs, adaptation, and even more innovation.